New details in the Jeffrey Epstein case. An attorney for Epstein's cellmate now calling for an investigation into why prison video from Epstein's first suicide attempt is missing. Here now to discuss this is attorney Whitney Boan. Whitney, I was trying to figure out why this attorney wanted the video. He says it's believed that it will help reduce the severity of the crimes for his client, who is, by the way, accused of a quadruple murder. I don't see the connection here.
I think what the attorney's trying to do here is to establish that if the video did exist, that he believes it would support his client's position that he was not responsible for the injuries that Epstein sustained back in July of 2019 and what was purportedly the first suicide attempt that Jeffrey Epstein had while incarcerated. So I think that the approach is that he's trying to say that his guy is not responsible for Epstein's injuries despite what was alleged by Epstein at that time. There's been an ongoing investigation by law enforcement, and that if this video had existed, it would show that his client was not responsible for those injuries.
All right, I understand that, but look, we've been told numerous times there is no video. It was a human error.
Right.
So, I mean, he's barking up the wrong tree here, would you not think?
I would say if I was the government, I'd certainly be calling this a fishing expedition. Yeah. And I would say that this is just a shot in the dark, basically. In other words, trying to make something out of conspiracy theory talk and murmurings in order to try to make a sideshow to distract jurors from worrying about whether or not they're going to give him the death penalty based on his crimes and other mitigating or aggravating factors. All
right, got that. Now I want to go to this story. Back to court for the infamous Theranos founder, Elizabeth Holmes. She was back in the California courthouse for motions related to her upcoming trial in August. She's charged with felony conspiracy and massive fraud after she allegedly deceived patients, healthcare providers, investors about a company's blood testing technology. It's an interesting story, Whitney. She and the president of the company have already settled with the SEC. Where do you think this goes? Do prosecutors have a good case?
Well, it's going to depend a lot on what they can show she knew or didn't know about the inefficacy of her product. Like you mentioned, she's already settled with the SEC in terms of committing a massive fraud and agreed to pay $500,000 to return $18.9 million to investors and to agree to not be an executive or an officer, in a corporation for 10 years. So I don't know where the interplay is going to come in terms of them trying to rely on the same information in the criminal case that was relied upon in the SEC civil case. But my guess is that, you know, knowing the standards that are applied in criminal court and the jury instructions that the jury is likely going to get related to fraud in her trial, it's not a particularly high burden for the government to prove that she defrauded investors. Especially and that there was a fraud, a conspiracy.
Right, and I'm sure that they're just, you know, I guess the question boils down to what did she know and when, and what do the communications show? Is she being told, oh my God, this isn't working, but she's refusing or fails to pass that on to health professionals, to investors, and so on? That's the critical part, right? Or
is she perpetrating, or is she even going further and taking information that's an opposite, you know, to what she is telling investors, and knows otherwise that this is a problem, and is telling investors, you know, this product works and keep investing and things of that nature. So it's going to depend on, like you said, when the communications parse out, when they happened, when she knew what, and what she said when.
My, oh my, it's a fascinating story, though. Whitney Boan, thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thanks. Have a great day.